Hey, well, welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. Today, what I have for you is once again my Honda 2007 Honda Pilot, and my plan here is to do some headlight upgrades. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, the driver's side, we have the original headlight lens and the original bulb, and on the passenger side, we have the replacement lens from a few years ago when we had the car accident with by hitting a deer. So some of you may remember we did a video on all the repairs at that time. And that bulb, I believe, was actually the original bulb still. We just had to replace the lens. The driver's side lens is peeling pretty bad, whatever clear coat or whatever's on there, but it's the original. And so what we're going to do is go through and do some testing. We're just going to, it's nighttime at this point, and we're just going to turn off all the lights in the shop and look at the different bulbs that we can get and different lenses that we can get and whatever else ideas we can come up with and show you basically the difference in lighting. And then at some point we probably will have to readjust the headlights, and so we'll kind of go through the whole process here. So let's get started. And the first thing you're going to be seeing today is both of these headlights with the OEM HID bulbs, and you're going to see that the color of the lights on the door are basically yellow. So it was essentially very common for the headlight color of this era. I moved all over the shop here looking at these lights, and I believe the driver's side light had a better focus and was a little brighter, indicating that the factory lens is better than the cheap replacement lens. Now, next up, we've got the OEM lens and the halogen bulb on the driver's side, and on the passenger side, the replacement lens and one of our Auxito LED lights. And we want to thank Auxito for coming on as a sponsor for this episode. They generously contacted us, offered up some bulbs, and in the end, I think we're going to be really happy with them. They are much brighter, as you can now see. The yellow on the left, factory, and on the right, what I think is a worse lens than the factory lens, but obviously a much brighter and more vibrant color coming out of that Auxito LED bulb. And here now I've swapped the Auxito bulbs into both lenses. And you can see while the left side, the driver's side, is really showing that it probably needs to be re-aimed. And in the end, I believe both of them will have to be re-aimed, but we've got another couple steps we're going to do here. They're much brighter. I think the pattern on the factory lens looks better and is more direct than the lens on the passenger side. That just seemed to scatter that light a little more than the factory lens was doing. So just a little more information on the Auxito lights that we are using. They are the 9005 replacements, or HB3s, and that's a replacement bulb for the factory bulb. It goes right in the factory lens. They are the 6500K cool white, 120 watt, 24,000 lumens, currently $67 on Amazon. So I have no way of testing the actual lumens or really any test equipment that I'm going to be able to check to see if their claims are true, the actual color or anything. I can tell you that the Auxito bulbs came with a couple different O-rings so that you could fit them snugly into the lens on your vehicle, and they were plug and play. I took out one bulb, put the new one in. They tell you which direction to put it, and they do mention in the instructions you probably will have to re-aim your headlights, so don't be surprised on that. Let's move on. The next thing I have for you is we are going to try reconditioning the headlights that are already in the car. And that includes the 5-year-old replacement headlight lens as well as the 17-year-old lens. I bought a 3M kit that's supposed to be able to do 2 headlights. And I bought the 3M Ultra headlight kit number 39195. Again, I got it off Amazon, currently $14. I was surprised at how well the headlights came out after using this kit. I just kind of always thought they were kind of a gimmick, but at least on this 3M kit, I was happily surprised with the quality of my headlight restoration. So we'll move on with that, and I'll kind of walk you through some of the steps. I'm not going to get super in depth here, This isn't really a how-to video, just more a look what can happen. Okay, step one was to go through and clean the headlights. And then in the kit, there are some gold sanding discs. You just put them on the end of your drill on a mandrel there, and they're 500 grit. And it says to just sand the headlight away until you get rid of all the big scratches. Like, for example, the haze that was on that headlight was the clear coat peeling off of it. So it comes with 6 of these gold discs to do this sanding. And I just went after them. I tried to split, no more than 3 on one side and 3 on the other or whatever. I didn't end up using all the gold discs, but the work came out really good. Next up was some white discs that I was using, and they're 800 grit. And again, you clean the plastic and then sand it with the 800 grit, and you just keep that up until you get rid of all of the 500 grit sanding scratches, just like you're doing paint or anything else. And then right now, what you can see is I'm using a Trizac disc, and they only get 1 of these. And I think the kit would be a little better if it had 2 of them. But the goal is just to keep it a little bit wet and work your way back down to the lens, clearing up all of your 800 grit scratches. The more work you do with the heavier stuff, the less work you have to do with this. And then finally, you get to putting a new clear coat back on the headlight. I cleaned everything up a little bit again, washed it all up so it's as clean as I could get it, checked and made sure there were no more scratches that I needed to be working on, anything like that. And this is just basic glass cleaner here that I'm using. And what I found was you do want to wear a glove. You just take this wipe. They tell you don't unfold it or anything like that. Wipe it all the way across the lens one time. So that was what I did. And then I did the other lens. You get 2 of them. And so I did the other lens with the same wipe. And then you come back up, I think it was 30 or 40 minutes later, and you do another wipe over the whole lens again to put a second coat. This one you go a little slower, a little more careful with your application, and it just came out stunning. I mean, you would think that was essentially a brand new lens there. And I kept getting some little sags down in that lower left corner here on the screen. This is your last chance to really make it shine and get all of the little imperfections out of the clear coat. So I tried to really take my time and be careful with it. I'd get a few little sags or I'd get some little bubbles and try and hit it one more time, then go to the other headlight and knock it out as well. So we let that dry for the required amount of time, and with the LED bulbs in, you get this. You can see they definitely need to be realigned, but the lights are just excellent. Again, I think the factory lens has a better pattern than the replacement lens, but they're both much brighter and look very good. So now we're going to swap out lenses because I just went ahead and, not trusting that the restoration would be as good as it was, I had already bought these lenses. There are additional replacement lenses off of Amazon, nothing special, about $135, no bulbs included, but gave me 2 brand new lenses. So we'll get those installed. Now on the Honda Pilot, you have to take the whole front bumper cover off to get to all the bolts that are associated with this. So we're just gonna haul butt through it. It's not really, like I said, it's not a how-to guide on this one. Just you have to get in there, pull the bolts. They're all 10 millimeter, a few Phillips head, and then a whole bunch of the plastic retainer pins. I don't know what to call them. There's just a lot of them in there. Anyway, we'll get the passenger side headlight replaced, do the driver's side headlight, and then we'll take another look at it before we put the bumper cover back on. So I kind of misspoke there. I did one more test before we did the driver's side. So you got the left side factory lens, right side of the door is the new replacement lens. Again, these are the cheap ones, not a Honda replacement. And in hindsight or in future sight, I will probably be buying two Honda replacement lenses, or at least going to the junkyard and finding a second Honda headlight for the passenger side there and doing a restoration on it, because I really do think Honda did a much better job with their engineering than anybody is doing with their reverse engineering. Because even in this one, both of them still needing to be realigned, the Honda has just a much better pattern. So, but you can see that really didn't get any significant difference between the new replacement and the restored replacement headlight. So that just says something for those restoration kits. And here we go. I've already replaced the driver's side headlight now, and we're going to just move forward with getting the bumper cover back on. Auxito also makes bulbs for the low beams as well as for your daytime driving lights and other stuff. So check them out, auxito.com. There's a link in the description as well as links to Amazon for the bulb. And with the bumper cover on, I thought I'd spin the camera around, shut the lights off, and one more time, let's test these lights. Now this is two replacement lenses, the Auxito LED bulbs, and you see me walk out in front of that. It's just amazing. I mean, it's new car amazing kind of headlights. Now we only did the brights. This is one of the dirt roads I drive down every morning on my way to. There's the difference with these LED lights. Dust in the road. My neighbor left just a few minutes before me this morning. Coming up on a paved road up here. I'm sorry it's so jumbly. I'm holding it holding the camera with my hand here. It's just my iPhone. Just wanted to show you guys the difference. This is just the low beams, obviously. Let me get up here on the pavement. There's the low beams. And I know we're coming up on a curve, but you can't see it. But now you can. Amazing difference. Thank you to the sponsors for providing the lights and for having the patience to wait on me to get this done and done well, or at least done as well as I think I can do. So I want to thank y'all. Thanks everybody for watching. See you on the next Allison Customs Project Car TV.